How's it going, everybody? It is Lockhart here, and today I wanted to talk about Higan Eruthyll. And I wanted to kind of give a beginner's guide or like a game overview, if you will. It's going to be my first time doing one of these. I do something similar like reviews, but I think this is one to kind of help new players really get into the game and explore it just a little bit more. And the game is really good. The community is super nice, and it has been awesome. Being able to play it so far. You can see that I am rank 100, and it's been a great, easy game to get into, being able to do all the content. So, you know, I'm not super top tier because I don't play it competitively. I'm not super great at min-maxing and getting into all the things that require you to be able to, like, you know, I got to level 20 easily, but if I get to 24, then, you know, I get like my banner and I get like some of these other things. And these things I could do as well. They're not that hard, right? Especially in your events, but I can clear the majority of the events. I can get through most of the hard mode, but the extremely super duper hard stuff, I am not even touching it. So I just kind of want to get everybody introduced to like what's going on in the game so far. So one of the interesting things that really you need to get to know right away is the stamina system. The stamina system works on, you know, you have your like little pots or whatever you would want to call them, and you can use them to increase your ether, so that way you can, like, you know, continue to do missions. And they have offline auto mode and things like that, which is great. However, they do expire, so you have to be mindful of this, right? So when I'm getting to a point where, you know I gotta push farming so I can continue to level up the skills of my characters, I will use these. But the game also does assist you with this. So throughout the day, you will get more supplies. So at noon you'll get this, and in the evening you'll get this. And there's also ether storage. So you can see that on top of redeeming my noon, I still have another 416, and this builds over time, and it's like your excess as such. So it's super great, and you do need to use it. And as a newer player, you'll probably be the ones capitalizing on that the most. So, but it's great that the game gives that to you. You also have, you know, all of your additional intimate moments with your characters where, you know, they will like go through some story content and you will get items from it. So you do have to go through your cell phone. A lot of games have been doing this, and I like it. It's cool. But once you get to a lot of characters, if you're not keeping up and you're like me and you forgot, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I have like a bunch of missed texts, which is like also me in real life. Anyway, so going into leveling your character, there's kind of like, you have 4 aspects, I want to say. So you have your character level, and you got to go through your upgrading process. So every time you got to awaken them, you do need more materials. So let me see if there we go, Fole. So she just got upgraded, so you're going to use this to level up your characters. And once you get to cap level, what's going to happen is you're going to need to awaken them again to increase their level cap, and also be able to increase or we'll just basically get them stronger, right? So you can see that like the difference between 50 and 70 is quite a lot. It's 5,000 HP, it's more armor, it's more AP. Like the AP is substantial, like, and that's 50 to 70, and like from 70 to 80 is still quite a jump too. So we're just going to do that really quickly. And now I have to ascend to finish it up. So you have 3 main components. So you have these 2 components, which are craftable and farmable. So if I go to craft, and let's say I can't make enough, I can pick the main item, go to that stage, and auto farm it. And that's where all that extra ether really comes in handy, right? And you can see that even when I ascend, I still get some stat buffs. So, you know, still get some AP, armor, magic resist, and HP. So that'll help my characters get better. Another thing that's really cool, and I find that there are more levels of intimacy here compared to like other games, I want to say, because usually it's like 10 or sometimes it's even 5, but it's not that hard. These gifts that you can give them are really easy to get, and you can just play the game, and they will give you a bunch of random boxes that you open, and they'll give you a bunch of gifts for everyone, right? And you just saw that I picked the one with the heart, which gives me extra levels. And you can also go to the tea party, select the one that makes sense for the character to get extra intimacy points as well. And you get 3 of those, so you can do that one per character. I cap out at 20 just for the time being. So like the characters that are invested in are around 20, because you also get them through doing stages and leveling up. So that's kind of what I mean. Like the intimacy level goes up naturally, or you can use those gifts, you can use those items, and that will help you gain extra stats, right? So let me see if I can pick somebody here, and I'll just do it for the video. So here we go. So you can see that I get extra points because it's also like something that she likes, and then I get some extra HP, some extra armor, and that just helps in all aspects of the character. So leveling up, awakening, that's one thing. And then the next bit is where you start getting into like the min-maxing portion of your character. So the plays are really important. Each character does have what you would call a signature play. So a signature play is something that will come with the character, and immediately you'll see that it is signed by them. Right, so I didn't have to sign this to the character. This is natural because this is the one that came out with her banner, and we can go through that as well. It's pretty awesome. Like, it really helps the character. They're really geared and built for that character, so that way when you pull that banner, you can pull for their plays, and that way you get a character that just kind of does the uppermost max of what they're built to do. So Chingwu was the previous banner before the one that we're on right now. And I did get her really easily, but the plays, however, I didn't. And thankfully, this isn't one of those games where you can consider them your weapons and armor, but your character and your plays are not the same value, right? So you pay like 2k gems to pull on your character. Well, it's not 2k in this game, I'm just saying. You pull 2k gems to pull on your character, but then you pull, and it's only 600 to pull for their plays. And they still go up increments of 10 towards your pity bar, and both pities are the same. So I find that that's very generous. That's super cool, and that's really nice. So that's something that like really helps new players and even existing players be able to like work towards like min-maxing, and I don't know if it's overly generous or not, but I'm not complaining. All right, so the other thing is once you do find the playset that works for your character, don't mind, this is not an example of a playset that works for the character. You can continue to upgrade those plays as well. So this will increase the level cap, which will increase the amount of stats gained. So each play start, you can only get to level 30, and there's like 2, 3, 4, and 5-star plays. And this is a great game because they also give you the opportunity to farm for 5-star plays, and a set of them. So they're kind of generic. They're not overly powerful by any means, but they're still great to have for stats, and they're free, right? Like, you don't really have to pay anything to get them. So you level them up, and you can see that I have extra AD here, which is, again, this play is not for this character. It's just, she's just holding on to them while I have them somewhere, and I can level them up, right? So you will get into the habit of leveling this up daily, so that way you can also get your achievements. And then the real min-maxing stuff comes here. And this is where you go into your adaptations, and like, let's say you pick like the build that you really want for your character. So you do your adaptation, and so I have like, energy, like I want to do energy refund, or I want to do lifespan. Like these are like, let's just say HP up, and these are things that you can see that like really help the character really gets stronger. So I'm just going to use this one for now. So like alt energy, right? So alt energy recharge plus 10% is the base, and now I'm really kind of rolling for the substats, right? And the substats are kind of here, and that's wrong. So the whole thing just broke on me for some reason, because that's not English. And oh, that's weird. I've never had that happen before. All right, let's try that again, and we're gonna just try to, and here we go. So then you can see that I have kind of tried for it, and this is the roll that I got. I can choose to keep it or not, and you can see like the rarities in which it is, like, you know, purple being second best, and then yellow being the greatest. Do I want to swap this out? I don't know. Let's just swap it out. Who cares? So, and then you can choose to keep it, and this is a great way for you to be able to min-max your character, and again, really get them to be strong and to be able to really be tailored to like their strengths as well, right? So I think that's kind of it. Like, that's like the general gist of the characters. They all have classes as well. So this is like your tank class. This is called Hoplite. This is basically your bruiser class. You have your range units, you have your casters, and then you have your healers. And there is a large cast of characters, and this is kind of one of those games where you can actually probably get away with not having to build an entire roster of like pure 5 stars. I mean, you can, but you don't have to, because some of these characters are actually really good at what they do. Ruko is one of those characters that are really good at healing, and she's considered to be one of the best still. And same with Asa is apparently a really good healer too, early game at least. So and when you roll, you get a lot of these 3-star units, and you can really stack them together to kind of increase their stats, because you can see that some of them are like 5 stars, and a lot of my 4 stars are like also 5 stars. So Screamer is also a really good healer, like one of the best actually, and she's almost fully stacked for me, fully awakened. And within your awakenings, you can also switch out what some of these skills do. And again, this helps you customize the character for your playstyle or for what you really need them to do. And then, sorry, and I didn't mention, but their active skills are actually interchangeable. So like this one does one thing and this one does another. And this is how you kind of better tailor your playstyle to the needs of your content and what you have to do to like clear it. And I think that's just kind of awesome, because it just brings a different dynamic to your party. Like, I could have these 4 characters, and if I change their skills, you know, I choose her to use a different skill, and in her awakening I choose each of these to be something else. That really changes the way that she plays, and they've kind of implemented that in PvP and made it better in that way too. So I think that's a pretty fair short overview of your characters. That you do get your characters, they do have different levels, different things that they can do as a single character. And actually, there is one more aspect which I think is super cool. So in idle games, you can basically do that thing where, you know, your top 5 characters can level up the next 4 characters, and all those 4 characters will scale to like the average highest level of those 4 characters, right? It's kind of the same mechanic where they have alternate characters, and in portrayals, they take the stats and the levels of the character that has the highest. So Euphoria here is just a 4-star. If I have her max and stacked, if I pull Euphoria, the 5-star Euphoria, she will be that same level. So like, here you go, you know, same level, skill level, affinity level as the original character. Develop any character, and other associated characters will receive the same upgrade. You just can't deploy them together, but that's kind of understood, I think. And I think that's an amazing thing to do. So if they have characters that kind of come out that are different, so like Euphoria is one of them, Nuno is another one of them too, and she has a portrayal character. I think that's a great way for you to have this incentive of like, oh, hey, here's this S-class character. Oh, but you also have a 4-star character that you've been like going crazy on and is super stacked, does great work for you. You can basically pick them up, and it's like simple plug and play. So there's less for you to do, and it's great. I think that's just a nice added thing for no reason at all. Didn't have to do it, but you know, I think it's super cool. And then now we're going back to the lobby. Let's go over to Troop. Troop is just like a small thing where you can do your crafting. It's kind of like your little base, so you have to level up different aspects of it. So that way you can go through like the expeditions, or you know, your item collecting and your resource collecting. I think it's like, you know, super simple, not a whole lot here. You claim it all, you go quick dispatch, or you can go through it one by one, and then you're able to continue to collect resources and help you progress, help you level up your character's intimacy levels, and yeah, not a whole lot to be said, you know? So super easy. And then you also collect a bunch of these items over here too, to help level up your whole overall. And then this is where you do your crafting, where you either upgrade, like what you'll probably primarily do is you can either get more upgrading level materials, or you do these stages where it gives you these items that help you awaken the characters. It's a free thing that can be done. It's the way that you can slow build your characters, and this is like super slow, but all things considered, I think it's, again, lots of things that really help the player be successful in the game. Whether it's fast or slow, you got it and you can do it. You have things that will like you know, your little trophy rooms and achievements, so that way you can just like get more currency, so that way you can do more pulls. And with the current union, and so this is like your guild, Armageddon is coming back very soon, and Armageddon is super cool. You get some huge rewards from doing it. So if a guild can participate fully, it's a great way to get a lot of anything. And you get some supplies, one of those 4. You go through these tasks, so that way you can get these coins to bet, and you can bet through here to again gain more materials. I think a guild that is on Discord will probably be able to bet and do well here. It's not that you can do bad, but I mean, it's, you know, you just bet, get what you want, ideally. Your shop is pretty standard. I think the one thing I'll say is that it is what, I don't know who did it first at this point, but you can buy skins for your characters that kind of add, like, you know, a little bit of flavor to like the characters that you already have. So if you really like what you got, it's a great way to get an outfit for them. And it is through, they originally had this as like purchasable, but now you have to get like paid currency, and the paid currency is like not that cheap no more. So like, you know, even if you wanted to grab that, it's like the prices. So if there was a $39.99, that's how you'd be able to get it. And I think it was about $34.99 in order to get it, and you could just toggle to figure out, you know. The art style is really good. And the thing about the game too is that like they have made the art style really good, so everything just looks super great. And they do, like, in their plays, they do a lot of gender bending. So again, you know, it's semi waifu. Like there's some male characters in here, but let's get real, it's just a waifu collector. And the story mode is pretty easy if you know what you're doing, of course. When you're going through it, you can power through the majority of it, and the combat power issue that kind of came with the game is no longer present, or at least not as heavily present as it used to be. So you can be a little under leveled for the combat power and still be able to get through it. And honestly, the story is like pretty good. It's like a lot of fun. It's super easy to understand. Like, I mean, it's not revolutionary, like less relaxed, but I think if you're like just kind of coming into a game that's like a little different, it's gonna be like worth it for you to just give it a go. Now you're going into a lot of like your resources. So this is where you get those like elemental resources to kind of continue to awaken your characters. This is where you can get the items where you can actually awaken your characters. Sorry, I said awaken. Did I say awaken here and then awaken again? Okay, so this is like the level breaking, right? And then this is like the star breaking. Okay, so that way you can get like more passives and stuff like that. And then more materials, so like your currency, you're leveling up. This is for skills, and this is so that way you can go to the shop. There's like a Nilo shop where you can get like really good items. These are little side stories for you to experience some of the characters that have dropped and be able to play with them a little bit of a demo. And then this is where you can get those adaptations, so that way you can kind of min-max those plays and get them to be really strong. And that was just recently added, which is nice. You have your deep maze, which is like a tower content, and honestly it's nice to be able to do it from time to time. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people like to rush the game and like just like power through it. I think that Higan is just such a great side game that you should just take your time with it. Like, don't get too serious into the game. Who knows where it's going? But it's got like interesting mechanics, so you like really discover and go through the different types of enemies. Isolated tower is like is like deep maze, but like it has its own buffs and disadvantages. So like sometimes they will like promote like certain characters to do really well for you. There's another one here that'll appear from time to time. Director Showdown is your PvP. PvP isn't something I'm like super like intense with. I kind of just like I kind of just go in, do my 5, and then like call it a day, right? But they do have these things called plugins, so when you match up, you just, yeah, I don't know if it's live, to be honest. I don't believe it to be, but you know, they find a character, and then you basically choose the team that you want to fight. You have a plugin, and each plugin has its own benefits. So like, let's just put that one like right there, and you can see this is anybody within here is going to do more damage, and then you just go at it. The only thing that's super different and super cool is like 7 Nights, you can see who does like the most damage on your team. And as Chingu is like supposed to be like my carry, she does a lot, but like Liv does a lot of damage too. She's like part healer for me, so don't know what that's about. And then you also have multi-party PvP. And it's where you have like you create like multiple parties to kind of go up against them. So it's like a best of 5. It's a best of 3 first, and if you tie that, it's a best of 5. No, sorry, it is a best of 3. I'm just so tired. So sorry, guys. And the game is like ultra laggy for some reason today. I don't know why, because this is actually one of the faster games that loads for me. So you can see in your team fight here. Oh, I don't want to start. Okay, well, I'm gonna start anyway. Man. You get to create 3 parties. This is like a nice way of being able to like fully utilize your teams and really make it work. So you can see that like my combat power here is really strong, and then it's like all right here, and then my third is like okay as well, but they don't even have one set. So there are like, even if you want to get into this, they have like mercenary units that are absolute trash, but you can use them. So like, that's good, right? That's something. And then you just go through it. Like if my first team loses, then it's like, then we fight each other's second teams. And if my second team wins, then we go into our third teams, but they don't have a third team. So I will probably just absolutely destroy them. You can see that they have Gildan as like a tank, and then they have 3 fire units. So they're running like a mono fire team. And it doesn't matter because Gildan fell, and the rest of their team is just gonna get squashed. Oh wait, no, seriously? Oh, that's mine. Oh no, that was theirs. No, that was mine. There we go. Crushed beneath the weight of the bear. And now this is my second team. Second team is like, there's even more of a power gap here. And which is cool is that like you can see where everybody's gonna go. You can see all these characters are gonna focus on this Euphoria here, and all of their characters are gonna first focus on my tank. Armada, I think is her name. Armand is like pretty good for a tank. Like really strong magic resist and really strong armor, and also has like the ability to interrupt like really fast. And you can see that they're not gonna let me like pick the skills that I'm gonna use here. Right? So it's like, obviously I can't do that because then people are just going to keep winning in PvP. So they've kind of improved it. They've made it so that way like a set skill is going to happen in a specific order. And then like each skill will get superseded based on like what they need to do or whatever. So that's kind of like your PvP. A lot of people are really passionate about it, and they're still working on it. So there's like, you know, don't freak out. So then you have Mesmerizing Labyrinth, and Mesmerizing Labyrinth is really interesting. It's basically where you go get a lot of your farming items and a lot of your leveling items for your plays, and a pro tip for everything that you have to farm, especially in terms of everything that ends up in the not out of world, is it out of world, Fantasyland, basically. You do get double or triple drops, and they will do that from time to time just to kind of help you get along and be able to like collect materials, because the one thing that is really known about the game is that the ether amount needed for each stage is quite a bit, you know. So you do get to level up, and you can use that like to kind of get through the game and be able to do it. So you can see that, like, you know, I finished my battle and now I get to pick a buff, so let's just go with this. But yeah, we'll go with this because that's for all of my melee characters. And you can see that some of them are specific to elements. So if you're running a mono team and you pick one of these, it'll be super beneficial. But because I only have 2 wind units and no light units, I don't bother to pick it at all. And then I'll just go to the boss and I will just continue to collect. And there's different things that you can do as well, and they'll always present you with options. So it's a great way to be able to get, and this is where you get those cards as well. So you have an opportunity to get more plays and 5-star plays by going through the Mesmerizing Labyrinth. I don't know why it is so laggy today. I'm so sorry. So, Outland. So, we've gone through the majority of everything, I think. Last is just your banners. And now the banners have been pretty good. They've been giving you decent... So, the banner that we're currently on is very dark focused. The last one was very wind focused. It was like actually insanely wind focused. You got a lot of wind units. And in this one, they gave you a really interesting combination. You're able to get Fadista, who is a person who can basically tether like this heal to and be able to give them like some additional buffs, and their priority is actually offensive to defensive. So if you take a look at her skills here, it will tell you that it will start with Assassin, then Hoplite, who is the Bruiser, then Ranger, then Guardian, then Caster, blah, blah, blah. So basically, your 2 frontliners, then your third one. So, like, basically, your 3 squishy offensive units first, right? And guess who the second accompanying banner is? It is Eluya, and Eluya is an Assassin. And it's crazy. So this basically is like a great, like, you know, turns Eluya into like this hyper carry. So then you get Gildan, who will be like your frontliner. You have Eluya, who will just be going deep because she can go past frontline and go straight into backline and attack. And Fadista will just keep them both alive. And there are some other dark units that you can tack on to really help the team survive. There was like a guy before, like, and then you get their plays that kind of accompany them. And Eluya's play is like super strong. Like it makes her like really strong. So unyielding is increased by 10%. Unyielding is character increases damage based on their missing HP. Max damage scaling caps at 20 HP. And she's a squishy unit. But then you have Fadista, who will keep her alive with constant heals. And then when you get the 3 set, increases physical damage by 25% against targets below 50%. So obviously, like, you know, the more damage she does. And then increased by 40% when the equipped character is Umbra. So it's like they just make her like not busted, but they really help her viability. And it's just like she's the one of the few 5-star assassins. So it like you know, it really entices you to be like, okay, here's your banner, here's a team you can basically build going in, and that's not something you got right away, which is like really nice. So that's kind of it. And again, like I mentioned, they do also, you know, the amount that you use is like completely different. So if I wanted to get into this, you can see it's 1440, which is going to be 1.6 or 1600. And then to pull on this, it's just 600. I can't do it because I have tickets, and tickets is something that they're pretty decent about. They do give you like your fair share of them, so it's not like when you start the game, you do have quite a bit to do it. And then you also, of course, have your battle pass, and the battle pass is all right, not so bad. So that's kind of it wrapped up. Everything else I feel like is minuscule, like the shop and like some of the things that you get from here. The only thing is when you go through Mesmerizing Labyrinth, this is where not only can you get the plays that you want, but it also lets you buy the plays as you go through it anyway. And as I've kind of gone through it a lot during the 3 times drop, I'm capable of finishing my Justice Bow, a 5-star play, to the uppermost maximum. Okay. Sorry, I was just saying that I am now able to finish my 5-star play and be able to get it to be the strongest possible. And it's just all right. Like, it's a generically good play. Stats are good, so it's just a good stat buff with that you can throw on an AD and an AP unit. And it's one of those things that will help a unit get below that like 60% HP mark, where then Alleluia all of a sudden comes in, and once that unit gets to a certain level threshold, is more than capable of like doing even more damage. So good times. I think that's it. Honestly, it's a great side game. I've made a bunch of videos on Higan, and I will continue to do so because I just like the game, and I love the music. I think the music is hella cool, and it's just like a, you know, it's honestly just a bit of a hidden gem for me. And so they've done a lot to fix it. They've done a lot to kind of make it better, and they continue to do so. So again, Armageddon is coming out in patch 1.6. Which isn't too far from now, and so I think it'll be worth anybody's time to, here we go, 1.6, and then some other, I've already gone through that. So we are currently in the Wander Fantasy event, and hopefully it's just an event that comes by every now and then, and the best part is that it's super easy. Even if you do the solo non-ranking portion, which I will do, it'll give me enough materials to go into the little shop that comes with it and just buy out the shop. Like, I've bought out so much, and again, tickets, like premium character tickets, play tickets, and materials to help me level up and exalt the place and get those level breaking materials. And it's just one of those things where it's just like there's no reason not to do it, because it's a great way to just help me level up my game and my characters and my account, level up my account. Sorry, bad English. Hopefully that helps, and this has been a really long video, and I will stop it there. If you've watched until this point, please like and subscribe. I would be able to love to get that support and be able to get to my milestones. I've kind of mentioned it in a lot of my other videos, but I would love to celebrate the 1K subs or 100K views and be able to do it with a giveaway for some Gunpla. Thank you so much, and have yourselves a great night. Bye, everyone.